Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it's Saturday, and you know what that means. It's the time of the week where we take a look at what came through the mail via DHL, Amazon, FedEx, the post office, you name it, and of course, that old outlaw, Waylon Jennings, its weekly purchases. The time of the week where we go through all the news, the figure news that I'm interested in, and hopefully you're interested in as well. We talk about that, and then in the back half, we investigate what I got through the door this week. So another big week of weekly purchases as far as news goes. A lot of toy news this week, a lot going on in the toy world, but a lot of news going on the channel as well. We always recap the week that was on the channel, in case you missed something. But this week we went through the whole Marvel Legends Supervillains wave. A pretty fun wave. We unboxed every single one, did the end of rankings at the very end of the video. So we have that out there this week. We also did our daily Star Wars video. Crazy Star Wars videos this week with the vintage collection. A lot of crazy stories as usual with Star Wars. They always kind of go into a new world of discussion and stories of my life. So there you go. Check those Star Wars daily videos out. Storm Collectibles E-Honda Street Fighter. We unboxed that one Saturday morning. That was the Saturday morning video today. So hopefully you check that one out after weekly purchases or sometime this weekend. Jakks Classic Superstars train rolls on. We did Jakks Classic Superstars Series 9, the 3-packs Walmart exclusive. So we talked about those this week. And then we also did our old top 5 list, a new segment on the channel. Last week was the inaugural edition with the LOD top 5. This week we did Bret Hart top 5. Next week, be prepared. I'm looking at doing the Rowdy Roddy Piper top 5. So there you go, brand new announcement there. So be ready for that, of course. So that's going to be a lot of exciting stuff on the channel, a lot of exciting stuff this week. Going to have a little bit of some of the stuff we unbox this week, or I show in weekly purchases, I should say. We'll do some of those unboxings and a few surprises next week. So be prepared for all the content on the channel. But let's get down to some of the news this week. And we're going to start off with a bang. A very interesting one, kind of came out of left field a little bit. Cella Toys. We know them. They're currently making their version of retros with the Dynamite Kid, Ethan Page, Nick Aldis, Blue Meanie. They've announced they are jumping into the 7-inch scale game to scale with the AEW figures, the Mattel figures, and whatnot. But very surprising, they announced, hey, we're getting in the game. Then, like, the very next day, they announced, hey, here's Dynamite Kid. We're coming out with Dynamite Kid as our inaugural figure. So you guys knew I had to pre-order that. I pre-ordered that right away. I'm anxious to see where that goes. I don't know. We needed something to go with that Bulldog. You guys saw on the channel I did a custom British Bulldogs. Now I can take that one back, put that one back together in a Jakks figure, and I can use this one, hopefully. Interesting taking a look at the figure here, though. It looks a lot like a Mattel Elite with a new head sculpt of Dynamite on it. That's kind of what it looks like, and I know they're getting a little bit of flack out there. Gotta wait till we see the actual finished product in hand. That's when you can make the final decision. A little secret of the toy companies out there, and some of you guys have probably seen like the Toys That Made Us, and there's been documentation out there of a lot of different lines over the years. When they're making concepts, you're making prototypes and stuff, there's a lot of times they reuse current things. It almost looks like they said, hey, grab that Bulldog Elite, we'll do a little bit of changes here and there, put a new head on it, and that's what they used. I do think once we see actual renders of the figure, it might still have a little of those characteristics to it, but I don't think it'll feel like a Mattel knockoff or a Mattel custom. At least that's what I hope. But we'll see. This is uncharted waters. A great idea, but you're looking at about a $50 price point for these. But I know some people say, that's too expensive. Mattel Elites, are $18 to $20. Yeah, they are, but they're also a huge company called Mattel. Cella Toys nowhere near Mattel. A labor of love, a way for us to get some deep cut characters we're not getting from Mattel. You're going to have to spend a little extra money. That's just the way it goes. I do assume that they will take their retro figures that we get in the Hasbro type scale. I got to think those figures will translate into the 7-inch scale, so you're going to get an Atom Bomb, which should be pretty cool to have. We need an Atom Bomb. I'm going to like that a lot. You got to think Nick Aldis will probably get a figure. Maybe Hayabusa as well. You just have to think that's the way they're going to go. Maybe Blue Meanie. I don't know. We have an FTC Blue Meanie. But we'll see what happens in their 7-inch scale. I'm excited for it. If we can get some of these deep-cut characters we've requested and wanted for all these years, and we can get them by another company, yeah, we got to pay a little bit more. But to me, that's something that's worth it, and I'm always game for a new figure line. You guys know that. So we'll see. So give it some time with Cella Toys, and let's all keep our fingers crossed. Let's hope for the best. Because guess what? If Mattel says, oh man, they're selling all these Dynamite Kids, you know what? We need to sign some more of these people. We need to work with the WWE and give them the business plan is, here's why WWE, we need to make Dynamite Kid. We need to make Atom Bomb, etc., etc. And maybe they'll get the ball rolling, and we'll see where it goes from there. But a lot of cool news. I thought that was a cool announcement this week. And keeping it on the figure news, FTC, our old friends at FTC. Well, little hit and miss those figures. I'm not a huge fan. I dabble. You guys saw weekly purchases last week. I did get the Demondale Torborg from WCW. I dabble in a few of them, and it's a little suspect from time to time. But they did re-release the New Jack figure. New Jack recently died. A favorite on our channel. We all remember that great spaghetti he would make for his roommates and stuff. We'll never forget New Jack. A favorite of mine in my teenage years for sure. A favorite of my kids. Watch my New Jack video on the channel from way back in the day. But re-releasing a bloody variant edition, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, New Jack had blood on his head probably more times than he didn't, it seemed like, some nights. So that's kind of cool, and it's not a cash grab as most people probably think it is, as this was planned in advance. You guys know how long it takes FTC to get figures to the market. They don't do anything overnight. So this was planned. It sounds like all proceeds and stuff are going to his widow and all out there. So that's pretty cool, and it's an okay figure. I had it. We've talked about it before. It's an okay one. I don't know if the blood will make that big of a difference where people are going to want it, but if you want a New Jack figure, that might be your only chance, because I definitely don't see any of the other companies really stepping up, but who knows, maybe Chella Toys, we just talked about, maybe they'll step up and jump into the game. I don't know, we'll see, but there you go, FTC. We also saw, thanks to ringsidecollectibles.com, you know, wrestlingfigures.com, use discount code Kyle, save 10%. We saw in-package images of Series 6 AEW Jazzwares figures. Very excited about this. An okay line. I don't know if this is their strongest set yet of the first 5 we've seen before, but it's kind of the gold and black attack set is what it looks like. Most guys in the gold and black, Phoenix and Penta Jr. Very cool. You can't go wrong with masked figures. You guys know how it is. We talk about it on the channel all the time. Face paint, masked wrestlers, big wrestlers. Sign me up all day long. Sign me up on those two. We did see Chris Jericho. He's got the title kind of over him and stuff. It's an okay one. I'm not shocked. You got to have the superstars out there like Jericho. I'm surprised it took this long to get a second Jericho. And then we're also getting Jericho the Chase, basically the same figure, glasses, coat on. We're going to get more figures in the Rare and Chase this go around, as you guys know, that started with Series 5, I believe. So that'll be good. So people that want that, they'll have a chance to get that Jericho. We saw Jake Hager. It's funny, it's kind of, they did a flip. On the initial reveals, I was all in on the Appetite for Destruction era Chase Rare figure. I thought that was really cool. In package, it took a big step back to me, and I like the hooded version better in package, the regular edition. So it's interesting how these things go sometimes. It'll be really interesting if I'll be able to find 2 of these, because I feel like I want to keep a mint-on-card set of all the Rares and Chases, and then I want, going forward, to have a loose version as well. So we'll see how expensive these will be. I have to think demand will slow with the upper production models, and then so many figures they're pumping out. I just don't think we're going to see the $1,000 figures anymore. I just don't see it. Maybe at first when they first hit, but if you play that long game, you have a little patience, I feel the Rare and Chases will come down in value a whole lot. Maybe you're paying $80 to $100, depending though. If it's a hot superstar somebody really wants, you guys know how that goes. But they also showed Sheeta. Man, she's going to give my girl Rio a run for the money. I think this Sheeta looks pretty solid. I don't think she's going to peg warm, but you guys know how it goes with female figures. We see it in my figure hunts every Friday. If you're missing those figure hunts, make sure you check them out. You can see what's going on out there in the real world. But Sheeta, I just don't know if she'll peg warm to a Rio extent. You guys know I love Rio, but she's everywhere. Everywhere. It's the biggest peg warmer going today. Nothing against her, but you know, she means well, and she dances across the sand really good. But will Sheeta join her as a dancing partner? That's the question. You guys tell me in the comments. You think Sheeta's going to peg warm with Rio? I just don't think it'll be to that level. I think she will be out there. But I know some people can't find AEW figures. People like me and, you know, a lot of the Midwest. I mean, if you're hunting on a regular basis, you're going to find all these at retail. At least the regular editions. I mean, I'm seeing it. I've tripped over so many figures of Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin's, the ones you assume to be extremely flying off the shelves. I've seen many of those out in the pegs and throughout the Midwest. I get it. Not all areas are created equal, but that's what I see with my own eyes, and I film it, so you guys see it as well. So that's very interesting with the Sheeta. We'll see. I got it on order, and usually when the in-package images come, you're about a month away, if not less, from them arriving at your house. So hopefully we get those very soon. I'm still wondering what the heck's going on with the Ultimate Edition Series 10. I ordered that second one no sign, no delivery, no shipping notice, no nothing. So I don't know if that's held up. They didn't get enough. I don't know what's going on with Ringside with that one. Hopefully I get my order soon. I know some people have gotten it already, but nothing this way, so we'll see. Maybe hopefully this week, keep my fingers crossed, maybe next week's weekly purchases. I don't know. So there it is. That's a little bit of the wrestling. Now we turn our attention towards my favorite, G.I. Joe. The big announcement, I had a G.I. Joe video last week after the Hasbro fan event, kind of recapping that whole event. I was shocked, and I mentioned it last week in that video and weekly purchases, that Super 7, long rumored to have the G.I. Joe license to create some figures. They didn't announce anything, and then early this week the announcement came. A big burst on the Super 7 site said G.I. Joe Super 7. That crazy background, kind of fire and bomb artwork, you know, that is a staple of G.I. Joe. They showed that and everybody's flipping out. Ultimate G.I. Joes are coming. I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, I wish that was the case, but I'd bet the house on it that we're going to be seeing G.I. Joe reaction figures, like I said. I think that's what they're going to announce. I think July 15th, maybe somewhere around there. I think that's what we're going to see at first, at least. Ultimate Editions may come down the line. I just think the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified line is too new, still trying to find its legs. We've talked about the horrors of COVID, and G.I. Joe was affected the most of any line out there. A lot of people don't like to believe it, but it's true, and we're seeing it in spades. You follow social media, major blood is everywhere. The dream calls for blood. It's almost the nightmare calls for blood. I'm up at over, I think, 30 major bloods in the wild at this point that I've seen, or Waylon Jennings or my wife has seen. We're seeing posts to social media every single day, cases upon cases. They're out there. They're coming. I always say it. Hasbro wants every dollar you have. There's no way around it. They're getting the production up to meet the demand, but guess what? COVID, I'm seeing it already. I talked about it last week. This week was 10 times what I saw last week between Facebook groups, social media. People are dumping their collections at alarming rates. There's a lot of people jumping out of the hobby that jumped in when COVID began. I've been saying this for about a year on the channel. Whether you guys want to believe it or not, that's what's going on. And we're starting to see supply catch up to the old COVID era demand. I think we're going to see, for you long game players out there, I think you guys are going to be able to get some figures on a much cheaper rate later on. I mean, you're not going to get it right away, but things like the Shang-Chi wave we're seeing all over the place. Come this fall, come this winter, you're going to see deep clearance on that to move that off the pegs. So that's just part of COVID going on. But back to Super 7, maybe we'll see Ultimates one day. I know there's a lot of people hoping we'll get the classic G.I. Joe designs. Maybe. I still feel Hasbro is going to save that for an exclusive wave to Walmart, most likely. Target got Cobra Island. I have to think Walmart's going to get something. I think they'll get something very similar on a retro card back with the retro colors of a character. Maybe they'll be repainted, maybe with some different accessories, something along them lines. That's what my gut tells me. But they very well. People say, oh, they're doing, Silverhawks, they're doing Transformers, they're doing Power Rangers. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know. But I do know in my heart of hearts that we're going to get reaction figures, which could be kind of cool. I'm going to pass. They're not going to be for me. But the card backs alone are amazing on the reaction figures. And then adding the Joe artwork to those, next level. I will definitely pick up a Flint if I see one of those out there just to have. It'd be really cool. And that might help some of those people that really want that retro carding a way to get that. But you're looking at $20 for those reaction figures. They are not cheap. And if you got G.I. Joe Ultimates, I got to think you're looking at $50, $60 because they got to pay the licensing fee, which is a lot more expensive for G.I. Joe and Transformers than it is for some of the Silverhawks, I guess we'll talk about. And speaking of Silverhawks, they did go up for pre-order this week. That's one of the toy lines cartoons from the 80s that I have zero recollection of. I never watched an episode. I never saw it. I don't think it was on in my local. I would have known it or at least known about it. Totally flew under my radar. Know nothing of Silverhawks, which is a good thing. That means I get a pass. I don't have to buy that line. Doesn't look like anything I'm interested in, but I'm sure there's Silverhawks viewers that are watching this that absolutely love it and they're all in for it. If that's you, good for you. That's good for you guys to get. I would love it for some deep cuts out there. Give me the Ultimate Cops. Remember Cops? I used to love that show. Talked about it on the channel before. If they came up with an Ultimate Cops, sign me up. Sign me up all day long. Give me a Bulletproof in the Ultimate Edition. I'll take it all day long. We did see this week a little He-Man Masters of the Universe. Saw that Revelations trailer, the Netflix show. I think it's coming sometime in July. I forget the actual date of it, the Kevin Smith He-Man show. I tell you what, guys, I'm excited. I got some goosebumps watching that thing. I've been of the highest of highs and the lowest of lows on this ride as we prepare for this to be unleashed. I wasn't sure about the figures, then I love the figures. I wasn't sure about the animation. Now after this, I really love the animation. So I'm riding that He-Man wave right now, and I'm excited about it. Definitely check out that Netflix trailer if you haven't seen it. Could hit us all in the old nostalgia feels. As I was a kid growing up with He-Man, those were some of the first collections I had. So there you go. But also, speaking of He-Man this week, Big Bad Toy Store, out of the blue, gets a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, the Gray Skull Guard. Army builder, basically a Man-at-Arms re-release with a few extra gauntlets and stuff like that. But very cool. I like it a lot. Gonna go great with the Castle Grayskull if I can ever find one. I really do regret not pre-ordering that. I usually don't say that because I find everything. But man, that Grayskull's been my white whale the last month. I don't know what the heck's going on. Just missing it a few times. Got in-stock alerts on Walmart.com. I've had it so far as I was about ready to hit send, and I hit send and to pay for it, and it's gone. I'll find it. I find everything. But man, talk about a white whale. It's kind of fun to be able to hunt for something like this. I like the challenge. I know some people don't like the hunt, but you guys know. I think you've watched the channel long enough, hopefully. Maybe you're subscribed to the channel. Hint, hint. I enjoy a hunt. A hunt's part of the fun. There's a lot of fun that goes into action figures for me. I love the announcements of action figures. I love, the speculation of what's to come around action figures. I love the hunt for action figures. I love holding them on card, looking at them. I love unboxing action figures. I love displaying action figures. A lot of fun goes into the whole process for me, and it's just part of the hunt. I'm always on the hunt for something, and like I said in that figure hunting video this week, I really wasn't on the hunt for a whole lot, I didn't think, but I actually came through with a few things I needed, so it was an interesting week out there on the hunt. But I'll find Castle Grayskull. I'll find you, hopefully this week. We'll see what happens. But the Guard seems to be sold out at Big Bad Toy Store. Hopefully you guys follow me on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, as I put up those hot deals when they come so you can jump after them. Got to pick those up fast because they sold out. I'm still trying to get those PowerCon ones. I sat there on the Hasbro or the PowerCon site trying to get those PowerCon figures for He-Man to no avail. Little did I know they were on Big Bad Toy Store the whole time. I would have had to pay a little bit more, but would have been worth it to secure them. So unfortunately, I don't have any of the PowerCon He-Mans. I'm hoping as it gets closer to the show, there'll be a way to get those at not giving away one of my kids for it. But we'll see what happens there. Another figure news. There's a little breath of everything this week, and we saw a little bit of Ghostbusters, Back from the Dead, the Plasma series. You guys probably saw my video a couple months ago. It's so hard to say goodbye, where I dumped my Hasbro Plasma collection. I said, I don't need this. I'm not in. I think this was one of the lines that got really affected by COVID. I think there would have been a lot more hype around these figures. They wouldn't be peg warmer in every store in the world right now if that movie would have came out and not got delayed and all that kind of fun stuff. So unfortunately, Hasbro, they're peg warming like crazy, but they're re-releasing the figures. I don't know what they're doing with that. Did they get a bunch shipped back to them that stores couldn't sell, and they opened them up and put this little paint on them, and away it went? I doubt they did that, but basically re-releasing all four of the characters. This time, though, they all have their plasmas, where I think it was only... Which one only had it last time? Was it Winston the only one that had it last time? Now they all get it, but they do glow in the dark with slime and stuff, so a bit gimmicky, but for you Ghostbuster fans, you don't get a whole lot of toy product out there. Not as much as you probably deserve, so I could see hardcore Ghostbuster people jumping into that. I'm done with that line. I'm just going off the old school Walmart exclusive Kenner Ghostbuster wave. That's my Ghostbuster wave. That's what I'm sticking to. It's one of those collections inside a collection, really. It's one of my big collections, or I wouldn't even call it big collection. It's a collection I can move. It might be in my office, it might be in my toy room, it might be somewhere. It kind of floats and moves based on where space goes. But you guys know I'm all in on that one for now. But some Ghostbusters news at least. And then our old pal McFarlane. McFarlane toys coming in hot this week. 66 Batman line. Very cheap cost on this one. I didn't really read too much into it. I just thought I'd mention it quick. But the 66 Batman line, you know the old Adam West, Burt Ward, Cesar Romero as Joker. That's my Batman. When I think of Batman, a lot of people think the 89 Batman movie, Batman the Animated Series. I think Adam West Batman because I'm a kid of the 80s, and guess what? That was on reruns all the time when I was a little kid, and that's what I watched. I love the Super Friends. I love that Batman TV show from the 60s. I enjoyed that a lot. I'm almost tempted to buy these, and they're going to have a Batcave play set and everything. we'll see. More info to come on that one, but I thought that was a really cool announcement. I've always been a sucker for that set. What can I say? I didn't buy the last release of those. I remember seeing them at Toys R Us. I can't remember what company made those. I didn't buy those. These I'm going to take a look at, but with most McFarlane things, I'll take a look at and make a decision at a later date. That's usually how I do it. We did see Marvel Legends this week. Marvel Legends is crazy. It seems like they're announcing a new figure every single day. But this week we only got 2 announcements. We got Target exclusive from the Loki TV series that just started this week on Disney+. Agent Mobius, Owen Wilson. So he's getting a suited character, a very easy figure for Marvel Legends team to release. Target exclusive. I did pre-order it. I do think this will be fairly easy to get, but we'll see. We'll see how popular this Loki show is. We talked about that when we unboxed that whole wave of Loki. He didn't rank very high on my list, but that was because I hadn't seen the series yet. So I was hoping the series would get me a deeper connection to that figure. We'll wait and see. The verdict's still out. I did watch episode 1. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. But they did announce Mobius. Then MCU Collector on YouTube, he got to announce a Walmart exclusive. It sounds like Walmart's going to do a collector's con. Maybe, I think it was the end of July, early August. They did it last year, if I remember right as well. They're going to announce some exclusives. And once again, Hasbro team making the most out of their molds. They're getting so many molds, so many releases out of that Incredible Hulk, the big Hulk figure. We're getting Compound Hulk. So this is one I am not familiar with at all. It looks cool, but guess what? I may actually pass on this one. Yes, you heard it right. I don't know if I need this. We'll see. I'm sure I'll end up buying it, but first impression, I said, I don't really need this. I don't understand it. I have a green Hulk. I have a red Hulk. They mash it together. It's kind of cool for what it is, but I just don't feel this one's for me. And, you know, maybe this is the first time I say, you know what, I'm just going to let this one sit. I'm not going to get it. Maybe I'll play the long game, get it on clearance one day if that is a thing, or maybe I'll buy it day one. I don't know, but how many of those big Hulks do you need? And once again, I don't have an understanding of the Compound Hulk exactly. I mean, I could probably write it. I could do some Kyle fan fiction. You know, the Hulks, they merge together and there's a blow up, and I could do that whole song and dance and figure it out. But I don't know. An interesting release, but once again, it's getting the most out of your molds, and that's very smart. And then it's an exclusive. It's not for everybody. Maybe everybody doesn't want it. It's probably a perfect exclusive item instead of one that's released everywhere. And it gives, you know, Walmart scratches their back, as that's what these big companies have to do. You guys, a lot of people email and message. We see them in groups and stuff. They don't understand. It's a business at the end of the day. We got to take that step back. Why are they exclusive? There's a reason for it. Mattel and Hasbro, all these ones, they got to appease the Walmarts and the Targets of the world. If they don't, where are they going to sell their stuff? We want to believe they can sell it all online. Online is such a small percentage of sales. You think it's big. It's growing every day. I'm not going to doubt that at all. But it's just the way it is. It's the way of the world now, and not just toys. All items across the board. You know who I feel bad for? I had a presentation I had to sit through this week at work, and they talked about suit and ties. You know, companies that make suit and ties. Their sales are absolutely in the toilet. And will they come back after COVID? You know, my company, a lot of time I have to wear a suit and tie. It sounds like those days may be done for. Even, you know, the customers I call on and stuff like that. So I can't imagine not wearing a suit and tie, but it sounds like the day's here. Maybe just a dress shirt, no tie. We'll see what happens. So it's a crazy world out there. You know, they said COVID really ramped up the year, about 3 years into the future of what people predicted as far as retail and everything else. So we truly are in a new world. And, you know, once people go online, they usually don't go back. So we'll see. Brick and mortar, it's going to constantly evolve, constantly change. You know, Walmart and Target, they're not messing around. I know Walmart, they're getting rid of those orange silos inside their stores. They're going to build actual pickup centers in the parking lots of their stores as things continue to change. So be ready. I guess embrace the change is all you can do. So then finally, a long-winded news segment this week, Star Wars. We had the big Father's Day Hasbro Star Wars announcement, and from all intents and purposes, it seemed like they really knocked it out of the park. They gave the fans a lot. You know, the Star Wars teams got bagged on, like, oh, these announcements are terrible. I think for the most part, there's always going to be some naysayers out there, but pretty positive as a whole. From the feedback that I've seen out there on social media and some of the groups out there. But we're getting a lot of stuff. We're getting the Black Series. We're getting back into the Black Series. We're getting the Archive Edition. We've seen that. It's a way for them to re-release figures with updated paint apps and stuff. We're seeing Princess Leia from A New Hope for I don't know how many times it feels like this has been released. Does definitely look better than the one I currently have. But I'm going to play the long game on this one. I don't think I'm going to jump at this. I don't need another one. I don't know if the face bothers me enough to spend $20, $25. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot of these archive releases usually get pretty heavy on the shelves and sometimes do go to discount and clearance. I think Princess Leia will, so I may jump in at that point. We'll see what happens there. We also saw Clone Obi-Wan. I don't know if I need this either. I guess they changed his hair color up a little bit. I don't know if it's enough of a difference for me, but I love Obi-Wan, so I may still pick that one up. We also saw Darth Revan. This is one I slept on back in the day. I said, I don't know this character, video game character, gonna pass on it, but then I ended up getting the white version. I said, I need to get that other one, but I don't want to spend a bunch of money on the black version. Well, they're re-releasing it, so good for me. I'm definitely picking that one up. I'll be happy to have another Sith, Dark Lord Revan in my collection. And then the 501st Clone Trooper getting re-released. I think that was in an Amazon exclusive box set, if I remember right. I don't have that. I'll probably get 2 or 3 of these along the way. As I'm Clone Troopers, I'm all about. Give me all the Clone Troopers right now. That's kind of my favorite Star Wars thing at this current moment. So pick me up one of those. I'm all into that. We also saw, long rumored, we knew this was coming, we just didn't know when, but it was officially announced, fan channel exclusive as well. You guys know fan channel exclusive means basically everybody but Walmart and Target. It's a way to give the big bad toy stores, link in the description below, the GameStop and some of the mom and pop stuff, throwing them a bone. So this is kind of the version of the Star Wars Rebels team we got last year about this time. This year we're getting the Rogue One team. So we're getting updated colors, updated face, all that from all the guys we got in that Rogue One team at one time. But they're also adding some other figures that we missed, like they did with Zeb. We didn't get Zeb before, we got it last year, fan channel. We're getting some characters this time. We're getting Bodhi Rook was one a lot of people said felt like it was left off. We're getting Galen Erso. However, that is going to be a Target exclusive, so be ready for that. And then Antok Merrick, one of the pilots out there, a different mold from the orange jumpsuit that we're so used to, but it'll be screen accurate. But we're getting Antok Merrick. So for you Rogue One fans, I guess, is it the 5th anniversary? It seems like it should be 10-year anniversary. Time is so weird these days. But we're getting those back out there. So for you guys that missed on them the first time, you get some updated improvement ones. Or for people that already had them, you want updated improved ones, get them now. So I'm going to get the ones I don't have, I think. I don't know if I need Jyn Erso. I can still see her at stores if I wanted to. We'll see how that goes. But they did talk pipeline reveals. I love a good pipeline reveal. We got Bib Fortuna, long requested by me. I need a Bib Fortuna. I'm very happy to get him. Return of the Jedi Bib Fortuna as well. We're getting Fennec and Boba Fett from The Mandalorian. I think we all knew those would be coming eventually. We're getting Cobb Vanth from The Mandalorian, and we're getting Mayfield from The Mandalorian. Mandalorian Madness, sweeping the nation. I just worry a little bit that, hey, we're getting all these Bad Batch and Mandalorian characters and some of this stuff. Are we ever going to get the Neon Numb? Are we going to get some of the deep cut characters, Return of the Jedi, and stuff we really want to get in Black Series? I want the Cantina aliens. I just don't think it's ever going to be in the cards, especially as Disney keeps putting out new Star Wars stuff. It's like the past will not come out at the same clip, and we'd like to fill out all of our crazy aliens in the 6-inch scale. At least I would, that's for sure. We also got the announcement that HasLab is coming back. It is not going to be a vehicle this time. So my mind immediately goes back to the Rancor. I hope that's what it is. I hope we get the Rancor. It makes sense with the Return of the Jedi anniversary. We very well could get the Rancor. And you guys know I just did an unboxing, Rancor Mania, on the channel, I think last week. Go check out that video. I love a Rancor, one of my favorite things in the Star Wars universe. I would love a HasLab. Back the Rancor. Get us some of the Black Series characters, the Rancor Keeper, stuff like that. Sign me up all day long. Get me the Rancor. Get me all that. Give me Jabba's Palace. Give me Jabba's Throne. Give me the Rancor. Give me, take all my money. That's what I would say at that point. So we do got that. But then the Vintage Collection, you guys know a lot of people love the Vintage Collection. I dabble in the Vintage Collection. I dabble. Last week we unboxed Vintage Collection figures every single day. But a pretty strong lineup, but very heavily Mandalorian based once again. We got the Mythal. You guys know I love Aliens, so I'm happy to see him in there. Quill, you guys know everybody loves Quill. We got his Black Series, now we're getting his Vintage Collection version. Bo-Katan with an extra head that doubles as a helmet. Very cool, Bo-Katan, a lot of people are going to be excited about that. And then we're getting a Hoth Soldier Army Builder. Pretty cool as well. I can always add to my Hoth scenes at any time, so that's the plan there. Then they talked pipeline reveals. Lobot, a deep cut. We needed him in the Vintage Collection. I'm going to unbox the Power of the Force version of him one time pretty soon, hopefully. And then Bib Fortuna making a return to the Vintage Collection line as well. So Bib Fortuna Mania running wild right now in the Star Wars universe. And then finally, the Navarro Cantina from The Mandalorian. Sounds like we're getting that. I want the Mos Eisley Cantina. If you guys follow usual Mike, Star Wars expert on the YouTube out there, he's been calling out for the Mos Eisley Cantina. I'm right there with him, but it doesn't sound like we're going to get that. We're getting the Navarro Cantina. It's so close, but so far. I just hope we get the characters to fill out that whole cantina. We'll see where that goes, but I got to think that'll be a regular release that we'll see, kind of like the Carbonite Chamber we've gotten and the Tantive V, that kind of stuff. It's going to be similar to that is how I at least imagine it. We'll see what happens there. So a ton of news this week, a lot going on news-wise, which is all right. Well, I don't mind some news. We'll see what happens. It kind of feels like it's the doldrums of releases into the actual stores right now, which is okay in our wallets as well. Album of the week, that time of the week, and I'm going with a band called Lordi. You guys know Lordi, European. I'm sure my European viewers out there know Lordi pretty well. They won the Eurovision Song Contest, gosh, 10 years ago, maybe more. In America, not really well known. A lot of people think of them as kind of a Gwar ripoff. They're nothing like Gwar. Their music's not like Gwar. And even just because they wear costumes and stuff, people always like to say that. I saw them in concert a few years back. I think it was down in Kansas City, and it was a great show. I liked it a lot. I like the horror elements of it all. And what I'm going to start doing, if you guys watch, hopefully you're following me on Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. In my stories, I'll put a song to every review. I kind of try to mix the review with the song that goes with it. And I'm going to start something new where I did the Supervillains wave the whole week this week, and I put a different Lordi song with every single one. So I'm going to do that. Whenever we open a wave of wrestling figures, it might be, all Kiss songs that week, or it might be all Uriah Heep songs that week. It might be all Waylon Jennings songs all week. Who knows? But follow me on Instagram. You'll make sure you can see what song pairs with the review. But Lordi, a bit of a sleeper band. I like them. A lot of Udio, Accept feel to them. A little bit of Kiss feel to them. Check them out if you didn't check them out on my Instagram this week. But Lordi, the Apocalypse is probably their biggest album, their most known album. They had a movie. I mean, they're quite a big band that really never made it super, super huge, especially in America. So there you go. That is Album of the Week. Now it's time. Let's get down to it. Let's get down to the weekly purchases. All right, let's get down to it. Let's go through the weekly purchases in a relatively soft week this week, and we kind of knew it would be. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, it's a very soft week for new items out in the store shelves, kind of the doldrums of the summertime. But a few things caught my eye. I went on a figure hunt this week. I didn't think I'd have much time for figure hunting, and it was very much true. I was stuck in meetings all week at work this week, so just a couple of times I had to go out get, groceries and a few things like that. Had a chance to do a little bit of figure hunting. But I did, surprisingly enough, come across stuff out in the stores I never expected I would come out across. So that's always great. So let's go through them. Let's do it like we normally do it. Let's talk about it. Let's see what's going on. And the first thing, if you saw my figure hunt, you saw me find the old Fearsome Flush and Joe Bug-Eye Ghost. I was going to call him Joe Eyeball. I think that's Ninja Turtles. The Bug-Eye Ghost. 2 old school Kenner Ghostbusters re-releases at Walmart. Very excited to find these right away, especially the Bug-Eye Ghost. I had this as a kid. I really loved this figure as a kid. I talk about it a lot. Maybe not a lot. Maybe you guys remember it. Maybe you don't. But I used a lot of these Ghostbuster ghosts with my G.I. Joe toys when I was a kid as part of Galobulus's henchmen with Nemesis Enforcer and the rest of the Cobra Law gang. I remember using him as part of that to fight the Joes. Fearsome Flush I never had. I picked it up. I don't know. This one does not interest me as much as this one, the Bug-Eye Ghost. But we'll see. I'll unbox both these on the channel together. Let's see what let's see what we think. See what we think. But there we go. Those two came through the door this week, so I was surprised to see those at my local Walmart. Well, speaking of surprises at my local Walmart, old Noob Sabat, Mortal Kombat. I was supposed to have this from Amazon this week. It should have been here Tuesday. Then they said, we're running late and we're not sure when it's going to arrive, to no timetable on delivery. And then I walk into Target and bam, there's old Noob just chilling, hanging on the shelf. I said, I'm going to pick him up. Canceled that Amazon order. So there you go. Noob Sabat. Very cool. Mortal Kombat, we'll unbox him maybe this week on the channel. Maybe. I still got a lot of Mortal Kombat figures to unbox, but we might add him to the top of the list since he is brand new. And speaking of new, we got old Cabal from the same wave. These two are the new Mortal Kombat figures. Actually did get him on Tuesday from Amazon. So it's interesting how Amazon works sometimes. One figure I'm going to get, I guess, by 10 p.m. tonight, they're saying, is the Fan Takeover Christian figure. Christian Cage? Christian figure. His final WWE figure. I'm supposed to have that by 10 o'clock tonight, it said. But it's bounced around so many times. I should have had it 2 weeks ago. Should have had it actually like a month and a half ago. Then it was supposed to be here 2 weeks ago. Then it got moved to early this week. Then it got moved to the end of the week. Then it got moved to July 15th 2 days ago. And then yesterday I get it. It's supposed to be here today. So I don't know about that, Christian. I'm waiting to get that one. But Amazon's all over the place sometimes. You never know. Whoa, hold on. Stop the clock. Let me break into weekly purchases. It's a little later on that night, and I talked about it a little bit in weekly purchases. But I had Christian Fan Takeover coming. Well, lo and behold, Amazon actually came through. Fan Takeover Christian is in the house. So after jumping around 12 different release dates, ship dates, whatever you want to call it, from Amazon, I finally got it. I finally collected the whole Fan Takeover Series 2 set. They're all here. Bring on Fan Takeover 3 if it's going to be a thing. I don't know. But Christian is through the door. Got that set complete. So I want to make mention of that. But I also forgot a couple of things. I forgot about Pro Wrestling Tees / Kyle Peterson. As you guys know, I got my own Pro Wrestling Tees stores. We launched it last Saturday on the channel. I had a contest going on, and literally about 20 minutes after I launched our weekly purchases last week, I said the first person that buys a shirt, they're getting that Decade of Domination Kofi Kingston, and it was gone within 20 minutes. I already sent that out this week. I have reached out to the winner tonight. I will, so be on the lookout for that if you are a winner of the second Decade of Domination Kofi Kingston. As I said, everybody that bought a shirt this week would be entered in and would pull the number, and whoever I pull out of there, that's who's going to get that. So thank you guys that supported the Pro Wrestling Tees store. We got 2 designs up there right now. More to come. Maybe a Rio shirt, dancing across the stand, dancing across our hearts. We'll see what happens, but I'll get a couple more shirts up there. Best way to support the channel, as you know, if you like what we're doing and all that kind of fun stuff. The other cool thing that happened this week, I literally fell out of my chair. This was one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me. Definitely made my week, my month, maybe even my year, as some friends once told us. But I was just sitting there one day checking Instagram, and I got a message, and I looked at it. It was from Richie Faulkner. Do you guys know Richie Faulkner from Judas Priest? One of the all-time greatest bands of all time. I always say the pillars of heavy metal. You got Judas Priest, you got Iron Maiden, you got Motorhead, and you got Black Sabbath. Those are the pure corners of heavy metal as far as I go. That's where it all starts and where it goes from down there. Judas Priest, he is the current guitarist in Judas Priest. I've seen him in Judas Priest many a times. I've seen him with Lauren Harris, Steve Harris of Iron Maiden's daughter, Steve Harris, Iron Maiden. His daughter Lauren Harris had a band for a while. Richie was her guitarist as well. So no stranger to Richie Faulkner. I don't know the guy at all, but all of a sudden I get an Instagram message that says, "Hey brother, stumbled across your channel on YouTube. Love your collection. Wanted to say thank you for the Priest love and keep up the good work, bro." How cool is that for one of like your idols, one of your favorite bands of all time, let alone that they watch your channel, they even know you exist, but to take the time to watch your videos and then say, you know what, I like this so much, I'm going to search this guy out on Instagram, then I'm going to send him a personal message. Little things like that mean a lot. I mean, that was the coolest thing that's happened to me in so long, that somebody like him would be actually watching some of my videos out there. I've known for a long time he's a big Star Wars fan. He's got a Millennium Falcon guitar out there, so I'm sure he's enjoying the Star Wars stuff. But you guys know I love the Priest. I wear the Priest love on my back for all to see. But very cool of Richie Faulkner to reach out. I thought that was really cool. And I guess it goes to say, you never know who's watching your channel. And it's just like if you're out in public, you're out in a job interview, you never know who's watching. It's all about first impressions. And very cool to get that message from Richie Faulkner. And I can't wait to see Richie and the rest of the Judas Priest boys this fall as they tour North America with Sabaton. So I'm hoping to go see them, hopefully up in Minneapolis. Who wants to go? Who wants to go? Minnesota, the Armory, let's do it. Judas Priest, Sabaton, I want to say it's September or October, somewhere in there. But there you go. That's the little clip into weekly purchases. Happy I got Cabal this week. I know there is bloody variants of these two as well. Probably going to pass on those. Probably going to pass. We'll talk about that more as we unbox these figures. But Cabal this week from the Mortal Kombat line. How about some G.I. Joe? G.I. Joe this week. Talked about this in that G.I. Joe video I did. I'm surprised they didn't mention this. The old G.I. Joe retro carded figures. Walmart exclusive, but Hasbro hasn't even officially announced these exist, and what do you know, they're hitting Walmarts this week. But I found them as well, Cobra Trooper, and old Lonzo Wilkinson, old Stalker, an OG G.I. Joe character. But got both these two, so I'm continuing to be complete on my Retro Wave Walmart exclusive figures. Happy to find these right away. Very cool to get this done, and I always say it, it's totally cool to be surprised, not knowing something exists. All of a sudden you turn on social media, somebody says, hey, I found these at Walmart. Didn't know they existed, didn't know they were coming out. just kind of cool. It brings you back to the old days. So I did like that. So there you go, G.I. Joe Retro Waves this week. Not a lot of stuff this week, guys. Like I said, it's slow. It's the doldrums. Not a lot going on out there. It's just kind of the way it is. How about some wrestling figures, though? Fan Takeover. I talked about Christian. Will he ever come? I don't know if he will. We'll see if he comes. But if he does come tonight, I'll unbox him this week. So let's just count him as part of weekly purchases. Let's just pretend Christian's right here. And hey, I got Randy Orton too. But Fan Takeover, Randy Orton. Through the door this week, Intercontinental Champion Randy Orton. So we'll unbox this on the channel this week as well. So that came through. And then here's a big one, a big heavy hitter. We'll unbox him. I'll try to get the unboxing of him out on Sunday. So tomorrow, this is Saturday, weekly purchases. Try to get him out on Sunday. Old Kama. Yes, the Godfather, the Good Father, Papa Shango, Charles Wright, whatever you want to call him. But there he is, Kama. Very cool to get this. I believe Walmart Target exclusive. I'm trying to think. I believe it's Walmart. Don't quote me on that. It'll be a while before this is out, but it should be hitting stores fairly soon. We'll unbox it. We'll find out what we think about this one. And I think I only got one thing left. The final thing. Can you believe it? This is the shortest weekly purchases ever. Just, like I said, nothing out there. Nothing to hunt for. It's just the way it goes. But I did get a playset this week. A playset I had back in the 90s. I saw it online at a heck of a steal of a deal. I said, you know what? I'm going to pick this up. I need to get this one, and I'm going to pick it up and buy it, and that's what I did. It was fairly cheap. I just couldn't pass it up. Long story short, I couldn't pass it up. It's not Castle Grayskull. I wish it was Castle Grayskull. But it is something along them lines of the 90s, and we're talking about Spawn. You guys know all about Spawn, but do you know about Spawn Alley? Spawn Alley playset, 90s toy. A lot of us had that. I had this in the 90s. I enjoyed it. Yeah, there it is. I picked this up this week. I figured I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, but this does scale fairly well with Marvel Legends. It scales with a lot of figures out there. So I'm definitely happy to get this one. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. Just wait for my collection tour. It'll be in there somewhere. Maybe I'll use this with Ninja Turtles. There's a lot of things you could use this for. Definitely not going to be using it for Spawn, I don't think. But I am a sucker for play sets. I've always been a sucker. We don't get them as much as we used to. But I think it's really cool to get this one. And that's what I did. I picked this one up this week. So there you go. Slow week for weekly purchases. Not a lot going on. Next week, I don't know. Will there be anything out there? It's, like I said, the slow time of the year. Save your money. Put it towards pre-orders. Not a lot of stuff I'm going back to look for. Maybe the deluxe aggressions. I need to start hunting for those. Maybe. I don't know. But it is what it is. A lot of news this week. Not a lot of purchases. But I know one thing I'm going to be doing this week. I'm strutting and strolling, rocking and rolling my way into the weekend. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video. Tell me in the comments what you picked up this week. And until next time, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.